Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday the 19th of July. So looking at euro dollar, and well, it would appear that we're on the continuation path here to the downside. It's had a good chunk down so far this morning. We just will wait to see, and we're a little bit oversold on the shorter time frames here at the moment. Just see if we can get a retracement to sell into, back down towards the S1 at the moment. Anything that would change that, well, it would have to come up quite a long way and break the trend that's sort of running across the highs of these bars here for me to be looking at anything but that at the moment. But we'll watch this morning's price action just post 8 o'clock and see where we are. But looking for some sort of retracement, need a half decent retracement to maybe even back to the trend line that sits across there. I'll just pop that on there to see if I can. He says, never work with technology. It's probably somewhere around here, and that's a bit aggressive on this 60-minute chart, but on the 30 it may be a bit smoother. But so maybe even a retracement back towards that. We'll just have to watch. But as much as I'd like to sell this, I don't want to be selling it at the bottom here. I'd rather get a bit more of a discount on that. So just waiting to see what happens there. But that's the view at the moment. So let's look at the pound. If it'll load, it'll be good. And the pound, so same thing here. We actually saw a break yesterday of the recent lows. In fact, I'd started looking beyond that time frame, looking back at the weeklies here, and we've broken that weekly 100 at last. Obviously not closed below that yet, but it does look like there's further continuation potential here. The thing is, in terms of support points, well, we've just gone past this sort of 100. I've got my cursor over at the moment. That's gone, which is sort of tied up with a high and a low together, and then then we're sort of there's not a lot for a while. Even the more modest ones are sort of sitting at 128. 87 sort of thing, so quite some way down if it continues in that direction. And certainly from this 4-hour picture, it's sort of it's reacted to the 4-hour 8 earlier on, and again may be a little bit oversold in a shorter time frame, but got the potential to continue at least down towards those S1s, maybe more. So European currencies currently look soft. These things can change in the morning, and we've seen it before where it completely changes direction. Well, again, it would need to break the upper trend lines there for me to be looking at anything else. Let's just put the trend line on here in terms of a higher time, say high time, but a trend line running across here even. Would really need to sort of break that now to be looking for on the longer side, in which case, well, then we run into things like the 50, but at the moment still looking on that bearish. Contrary to that is the dollar yen, which is, well, it's got a bit of divergence sitting around where it is on the dailies here at the moment with this price action. 4-hourly wise, well, it still looks like it could push on from here. I mean, you're getting all the right signs for a continuation move, maybe, but we'll see how it runs out there. But it does have high lows, high highs through here. So say the daily maybe not agreeing with that at the moment, and we've sort of run into the underside of the daily pivot, which it seems to have reacted off just before then. That's 34 moving average. So seeing a bit of reaction from there, but it may yet shove on from here, and the wise money may just sit there and wait. If you were looking for this, wait for this break of this area and trade it back towards yesterday's highs there. Okay, dollar yen, so Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, one hell of a move yesterday afternoon. It pulled up better than all the rest, and has pushed through with the employment data coming in favourably overnight. But given much of that back now, and it's probably not that far away from rolling over. It's just go out to the bigger picture here, and that's what we're seeing here. It's very bitty on this daily. It's in a wedge pattern, sitting in a downward trend. So one would expect it to roll over at some point, break out of that wedge. So it does still look soft, and as I said, it's giving up its overnight gains there. Really, it's just a bit of dollar strength maybe coming through all across all these markets, and it's just whether or not that continues. Now with the Aussie dollar, for example, if it hasn't come down to its daily pivot yet, if it was to bounce off that this morning, it may even go from where it is now, well, it probably wouldn't take too much to shape towards the upper side of this wedge that it's sitting in. Canadian dollar. So Canadian dollar, well, it's at the moment I'm just sort of looking at this sort of this sort of elongated pattern here, and I do wonder whether it was going to break buck the trend and roll over. It struggles to keep hold of any upside, but it is gradually pushing up, and it's just a very slow movement. It's not the cleanest of markets to be trading as ever. It's one of those, if you're in a swing, you don't probably feel it too much, although 1 minute you're doing probably quite nicely and next minute you're not doing well at all. And at the moment, if I was looking at this from this chart, you just wonder if it's going to just run back. If it runs into that daily pivot, it can boost itself back into that in the moving averages, whether it will roll back towards its monthly pivot at some point in S1 sort of territory. Of course, if it can break that area, then again it gives us a sort of a similar picture to what we're seeing on the euro and the pound at the moment. Anyway, that's now what we've got to look forward to in terms of data today. We've got retail sales coming out at 9:30 for the UK. Key number, see if the spending's happening. It's expected that it's dropped quite a bit from previous even coming in. It's expected to come in at 0.1, so barely any growth there. It's expected. So that's the retail south of the UK, and that's pretty much it for today. We've got some very low level data coming out later aside of that, which would not normally create much volatility. So we're left to Trump's Twitters. So that's it for today. Have a great one. Bye for now.